one of the real gifts of the Occupy movement, I think, is, there's a lot of, people that say, what's their message, man? Well, one of the messages is that, the Federal Reserve is a system that needs to be looked at a little harder and not just accepted as the way it is. And I think that a lot of people have, myself included, have taken a little bit more time to go, wait a minute, the Federal Reserve is not a part of the government? Wait a minute, the Federal Reserve just creates money and then has this kind of system where they have a guaranteed way to make money for specific people? Wait a minute. And when you start to realize that the way it is not the way it has to be, that's just the way it's been crafted and created, it allows you to then address and look into other ways. Like, there's all sorts of examples through history of alternate currencies. We have an interest-based currency which is designed to make the money flow up. There have been times in history where there have been currencies that lose value over time. Back in the day when there was grain-based economies, if you had, $100 worth of grain, in 2 months you'd have $98 worth of grain because you'd have a certain amount of rot, and rats would get to a certain amount. So you were incentivized to keep your money flowing. Stockpiling was a terrible idea. Interest-based, on the other hand, you're motivated to stockpile and to hoard. But when you have a system where it loses value, and there's been all sorts of examples of this through history, abundance happens because the money starts circulating. You don't want to hold on to it. It's like hot potato, and so you go, all right, I'm gonna let's expand. We're gonna build onto the house, and then cool. And then the builder goes, sweet, I built the house. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna do this. And everybody starts swirling the money around, which makes an economy go. Whoo. And things like the thing I read was that the cathedrals in Europe happened because there was this sense that anybody who would acquire a significant amount of wealth wanted to, just having wealth did nothing, but put into circulation allowed you to maximize the impact of your presence on the planet, And there's all sorts of crazy, there's like time bank economies where people will you drive everybody's kids to school, and that you get, your bank account says, okay, now you've earned 6 hours, and so then you can say, hey, can somebody walk my dogs and things like that. Those things are required because a barter system, which is the original money, was made up because you go, oh, I want some corn, and you say, oh, I want my house painted, and you go, nah, I don't really want your corn. I do want some of those pears. And so then the pear guy goes, well, and then you got to figure out some system for what equals what so you can trade with more than one person at a time. That system of money isn't bad. That system of money can facilitate all sorts of abundance. It's when it gets tricky. It's when it gets loans and interest and derivatives and speculation and that's when we get into the danger zone. Highway to the danger zone.